And there is something rather nasty about attacking people who have been friends for over a decade.
Ooh.
Colleagues.
YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
Wait, what?
Here's something.
What? Wait, what was that clip?
Take a moment. Speaking of big tech and its suppression of free speech, take one moment to comment on a controversy that has broken out because my friend Steven Crowder, been friends with Steven for a long time, like well over a decade. I was his lawyer when he first signed a contract with Fox, and I've been friendly for a very long time. He put out a video essentially accusing Daily Wire of being in league with big tech.
The big conservative, the big con. And it really is the biggest con going right now. They're making it known in their contracts that they will enforce the guidelines of big tech and punish conservatives on their behalf. Don't worry, Wojcicki. Trust me, these conservatives will stay in line. If they get demonetized, we take away 25% of their operating budget. Take another 20% away if they get a hard strike. Hey, don't worry, Zuckerberg. We've got your back. Hope to see you at the UFC Apex.
He's accusing us of being in league with big tech because of a term sheet, a negotiable term sheet that we submitted to him that offered to pay him $50 million over 4 years and included provisions that said that if he got booted from arenas that would lose him ad dollars, since we would also lose the ad dollars, then he would lose money as well. This is typically how contracts work.
If somebody is paying you money for your content, then the idea is going to be that content is going to make them money. That's business 101. I feel like this should be a conservative saying this. If I'm buying shit from you, it's because I'm going to make money off it. That's capitalism. I'm not going to buy you shit, or I'm not going to buy shit from you, and then all your shit gets banned, and then I'm still going to pay you. That's not how it's going to work. So I don't understand what Crowder is complaining about. It just seems really weird. If you're signing with a company, of course, every single contract ever that you will ever sign in your entire life, for the few of you that are ever in like entertainment positions, they're always going to include clauses that they're going to have termination clauses. They're going to have like liability clauses. They're going to have the ability to pursue damages with delegated arbitration if you are doing shit that makes their company look bad or puts them in a bad light. Like this is standard in every contract in entertainment, or probably almost anything, probably in the tech world even, that you sign. There's always going to be clauses like that.
If his show were to start losing money, this is true of my show. If my show loses money and it loses the Daily Wire money, I lose money. And so if Steven had come to work at Daily Wire Plus, it would have been precisely the same thing. Right? That if he had lost money in the ad space and his show had lost money, then he also would have lost money because that's how a joint venture works. Steven interpreted that as somehow misinterpreted. I'll give it the best possible gloss. He somehow misinterpreted that as us attempting to, quote unquote, do the work of YouTube. No. If you want more on that, then you should check out my friend and co-founder, Jeremy Boring's 55-minute video going through every single word of the term sheet that Steven selectively read on his own YouTube channel. He read certain parts, he didn't read other parts. Jeremy reads literally word for word the entire term sheet and explains every single term therein. I think it is well worth the watch. We should all be on the same side of this thing. I'm encouraging you that you should go subscribe to Steven's Mug Club. I hope that he's very successful in whatever endeavor he chooses to pursue. That does not mean that he happens to be correct about the term sheet we submitted to him, and there is something rather nasty about attacking people who have been friends for over a decade, colleagues, defenders for over a decade, on the basis of your own misinterpretation of a document that offers you $50 million over the course of 4 years.
Uh-oh. They don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
God bless the talk boy. Those things are worth like $5,000 now. It's an expensive gag. So didn't want to have to do this, but Daily Wire outed themselves very, very quickly. And sure enough, if you see all of the people who work there, some of whom I have relationships with, they immediately tried to make this all about money. Here's the problem. There are a few problems, and I'll go through with some receipts. Everything that was said about negotiations, how they transpired, beyond the numerical value, which is true and I'll get to, everything else is untrue. I don't really want to get into that. It's completely irrelevant. Here's why. Okay. Go back to the 20-something minute video 30-minute video. You've never heard me say or write anywhere online that these offers weren't paying enough money. Why? Because it's not about the money. It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money. I'm talking about a country. I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about making a difference. It's not about the money, and Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. How do I know they know that? Because after, according to what he said, I walked away from the offer. I did place one more call to the Daily Wire, and I made it very, very clear that it wasn't about money. That was not the topic of conversation. There was zero, as they've tried to portray this, miscommunication. It was one last call where the only thing that I asked for, my only demand, was their word, and not even for me, but for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts. Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say it's some other kid you're paying 6 figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
Wait, what?
Here's something.
What? Wait, what was that clip? Are we on Project Veritas levels? Okay, hold on. In my mind, I'm telling you what's happened in my mind, and then I'll give you the caveat, okay? Now I'm thinking that Daily Wire is almost 100% in the right. Even without knowing, even if I hadn't watched anything earlier, even without knowing the facts of anything, when I hear a cut like that, I know somebody's up to no good. That is an insane cut. But we'll evaluate it on the substance of what's being said, okay? We'll go back.
100,000. Let's say it's some other kid you're paying. Coming up, facing these kinds of contracts. Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say it's some other kid you're paying 6 figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. If a kid comes in with 500,000, there's not the penalty for demonetization. Yeah, there would be. Sure, there would be. So there would also be a penalty for demonetization. Isn't that consistent with what he said before? Am I missing something?
And here's something else. I was also very measured. I was painstakingly clear in taking myself off the table because it wasn't going to be a right fit. That happens in business all the time.
Well, careful. Now you're painstakingly clear to take yourself off the table, but that's because this is the second call that you made that you knew you were recording, that you knew you were preparing for release on your YouTube channel, Steven. That's not a fair call. Of course, now you're going to be incredibly measured and incredibly careful and incredibly selfish, because now give us the first phone call, at least like a big chunk of it, if not the whole call. You can censor terms, but if you're going to selectively clip, like, bro, you can give me any motherfucker you want, and I will destroy their character if you let me record a phone call that they don't know they're being recorded on. I can get a lot of people to admit to a lot of insane shit and cut it up in a way that makes them look bad. This is the entire Project Veritas model. They've built a whole business doing this. Yeah, of course, now you're going to be very careful. Now you're going to be measured.
But that we weren't talking about me. We were talking about the futures of other people who could potentially be in that position. That very disconcerting position. No miscommunication. What I'm talking about is you're describing a model for everyone, not just, let's get rid of me here. Everyone, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube, because your business model requires that be a huge component of it, you need to change your business model or this movement cannot work, Jeremy. I can't imagine my show trying to come up and be beholden to YouTube advertiser guidelines.
Then you don't need to be on the Daily Wire. I think, ready? I think here's a prediction. I think Steven Crowder is going to win this in the public ring of opinion because people just don't have an understanding of how business works. Steven Crowder is very smart. He did a really good job of framing this in a way to make him win too. Because now he's making it seem like it's about the movement, blah, 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 blah. Bro, fuck off. That's about a business contract. You don't have you don't have guaranteed access to the Daily Wire's resources. If you want to do things where you can get demonetized, where you can get banned, where you can play by whatever rulebook you want, you can do that, but you don't have a right to the Daily Wire's materials. You don't have a right to their staff. You don't have a right to their advertising. You don't have a right to use their name on their platform to grow your brand if you're not going to play by the books in a way that's going to help them make money. Like, why would you ever think that? This is like the most communist shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, where's the capitalism, bro?
Alone, I mean, honestly, being beholden from a conservative entity with hard strikes, right, being removed, but let alone being advertiser friendly. We know how broad those guidelines are. They might as well just read, don't say anything offensive, and they change them at the drop of a hat.
I'm not suggesting that the guidelines aren't terrible. I'm suggesting that if making money off of those platforms is part of how you're justifying the salary you're paying someone, then or the fee I keep saying salary, the fee you're paying someone, then when those go away, everybody loses money. You can't pay the same amount with less revenue.
How about you create a different business model?
You can have a different business model, but it means you're gonna make less money. They already have subscriptions at the Daily Wire, don't they? Didn't we look those up? The Daily Wire has a subscription business model, just like The Blaze has a subscription business model. But you're gonna have less money, Stephen, without advertisers. There's not as much money. That's not that hard to understand.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Of course, telling someone else, hey, change your business model. I get it. I'm in no position to say that unless, instead of Monday morning quarterbacking it, here's the thing.
He's going to start his own fucking...
I didn't just offer criticisms. I offered a guide on how to... Here's the deal. I want to sit at the table with people who, granted, have an immense amount of power and have incredibly deep pockets. That is all true, to be clear. And by the way, it's something that I want to have on our side of the aisle. But I offered a guide on how to do it. It is incumbent, this is what this is about. It is incumbent upon conservatives, if we believe what we say, to uncouple, to divest, if you want to use that term, from big tech. Right? For the business models of the movement as we...
Why do you still post on YouTube then? It's your largest platform. Why are you still on Twitter then? It's probably your largest vertical besides YouTube. Like, you're still plugged into all of these things just as much as anybody else is.
Move forward to not rely on playing ball with Facebook and with YouTube. That is something that we have to move toward. You know that we've been trying to do that here for years. That's why every single show we say, hey, if you can watch on Rumble, please do so. We're not looking to be banned on YouTube, but at least we certainly won't compromise the truth in order to be advertiser friendly. Here's the thing, Daily Wire, Jeremy, and I really do hope that we can talk at some point. Please, you can pick up the phone. We've done that.
Bro, you're fucking lighting their whole fucking business up online, and now you're like, I hope we can talk. And you fucking mined him for a phone call that you knew you were gonna publish, so you're asking the most leading questions possible because you know what's gonna play well with your audience?
We here have found a way to make that work. For proof, see election night, our numbers on Rumble there, and see the numbers on Rumble when we get suspended from YouTube. I think it was 4 times this last year.
I don't have any evidence for this, so I mean, I am just, it's pure conjecture talking shit right now. I don't believe the Rumble numbers. I think those are inflated somehow. I could be wrong, but I hope I'm wrong. It would be awesome to see another platform grow that really huge. Once I think I'm probably going to dual stream on Rumble when I finish Factorio. I think those numbers are inflated, though. I don't believe it.
And I went to great lengths to communicate that to the people at Daily Wire. There can be no next me if the people at the top with the financial resources are doing the bidding. That's being the arm of big tech. What you just said is, well, we have to play ball with big tech if we want to make money. Well,
how did you grow though, Steven Crowder? You didn't grow on Rumble. You didn't grow on Gab. You didn't grow on True Social. The next you is not coming from those platforms. You came from YouTube. And you've grown really successfully on YouTube. And you've even continued to grow through all of the TOS enhancements and everything else. You still get big viewership on YouTube. What do you mean the next you can't come?
I don't. Why don't you guys follow a model like I have and scale it? That's what I've been doing since 2014. You know that. I've been trying to make sure, which I thought we were all doing, that we can all flip the bird to Silicon Valley. This is saying we need him and you need to play ball. And by the way, before some of you ask for this, look, there's always personal information on phone calls, and
Oh my God. He's going to give a bullshit excuse to not even release a redacted version of these calls because he knows he can't, because he knows he's quote mining this guy so fucking hard. Oh my God.
for the record, I've recorded 3 people on phone calls in my life. All 3 are involved with big tech. Just to be clear, the entire call transcript has been sent to others to verify without hopefully having to release the whole thing.
So why can't you just publish a redacted version? Did he? Come on. Really? I sent it to my friends to make sure it was okay?
And I'll be on Tim Pool's show, I believe, on Monday to talk about it. Now, this is something else that's been brought to my attention. Look,
Yes, I think Crowder's probably going to start his own platform. His contract with the Blaze is expiring. Daily Wire didn't offer him enough. They probably couldn't offer him enough, and I think he just wants to make his own platform. And this is his way to do it, basically.
people have been sent out from Daily Wire and have gotten very personal. Obviously, when we released this video, we didn't name names, and I told you there are a lot of people in the space who have made offers, and it is true. There are quite a
You didn't name names? Bro, who else is in a position to offer you any type of respectable contract? It's going to be Fox News and the Daily Wire, right? Who else could even do it? Fucking Rebel Media? Does that place even still exist? Fucking Fuentes's Cozy TV? Fucking... are there even any other things worth mentioning in the same breath as the Blaze? And is Tim Pool offering you money to buy you out? Besides, OANN, are they offering to buy you out? Come on. It's either going to be the Blaze is who you're leaving, so it's either going to be the Daily Wire or maybe Fox News, right? Who the fuck else could offer you? And Fox News probably isn't buying your content. No offense. Does Breitbart still exist? Yeah, they don't have the money for it. Truth Social? No, come on.
a few, and there are some others that have been pretty similar to this. This isn't an incredibly unique scenario, but there have been some good people out there too, and we're still talking with them. So I do know that some people from Daily Wire have come out, maybe been instructed to. I have no idea. I don't care. And they've gotten very personal. I don't want to do that. At least I didn't want to. But now it's sort of necessary for me to do so. So these are the only personal things I will say about the people at Daily Wire. Andrew Klavan is one of my favorite people of all time. He has an unbelievable skill to make you feel like the smartest guy in the room, even though I guarantee you he's smarter than you. There are very few people whose company I enjoy more than Andrew Klavan. Jordan Peterson is not only a friend, I would go to the wall for him. He's a guy who has changed the landscape of our country for the better. Can't say enough good things about him. Ben Shapiro is possibly the smartest person I know. That's as personal as I'll get. Now, here's the thing. Only after that final call, after negotiations had followed through, pleading on the side of principle and knowing that it was completely met with deaf ears, did I come out like I did? See, here's the thing. Daily Wire, they keep talking about
how do I find my ship?
Business. Well, I walked away from the table because I'm talking about a country, about a movement. And this is the thing. The response that I've heard over the years is not just now. I've been doing this for a long time. You constantly hear, it's just business. It's just business. Well, guess what? It's not to me. Sure.
Everybody keeps saying that. It was always personal to me.
I run a business, but it's not just business. And let me ask you, when have you ever heard someone say it's just business when they're doing the right thing? Ever hear someone give $250,000 to charity and say it's just business? And here's something that I would like to ask you, because I know that they've tried to play the identity politics and misrepresent the whole financial situation. But yeah, over the course of 4 or 5 years, the total operational budget, meaning 25, 30 employees, all of the costs, security, health insurance, would have been somewhere in the $50 million ballpark for that total operational budget. That is true. Okay. First off, I think it's a good thing for conservative companies out there to be generating or capable of generating far more than that. And it'd be better than just Disney and just Netflix and just Hulu Plus. And I'd like the people who are in charge of that to be people who are willing to walk away from that if it comes with strings attached, with people who hate everything you stand for. So let's take that at face value, okay? I want you to ask yourself this question, okay? Put yourself in my shoes. What would it take? How much do your principles matter to you? What kind of a headspace would you have to be in to walk away full stop from $50 million? Let me ask you even further.
That's not hard for you, though, bro. You get paid. You make a fuck ton of money. He's virtue signaling so hard. He's virtue signaling so hard for you guys. It's so silly. Like, there are 7-figure contracts that I could walk away from, but it's not because like I'm so principled that I can walk away from somebody offering me like $1 million. It's because I know I'm probably gonna make more money doing other shit. Like, he's trying to act like he's leaving like 50 million on the table that's irreplaceable, and that's not true, bro. You know you get paid. You know you're already making the big bucks. The fuck out of here. That's easy. $50 million is easy to walk away from when you're like fucking grossing 75, right? Depending on how much money. I doubt he makes that much and not in a year, over 4 years, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he does sell a fuck ton of subscriptions. I don't know if he sells 300,000 subscriptions of the Blaze, but I bet he sells a lot of subscriptions.
What would it take for you to be willing to walk away from at least $50 million because of it causing harm to someone else that doesn't even affect you?
That's such bullshit. Oh my God. And he's going to win because you guys are, none of you guys know anything about fucking content. Maybe not with you guys because you guys are my audience. But to every other conservative, he's going to look so good, even though it's all bullshit. I would, if that Nick guy wants to talk, the Rakita guy, I would fucking rake him over the coals on this. I can't believe the analysis he was giving. I just think it's ridiculous if he wants to.
But the next kid, I've talked about this, you have it in comedy. I'm never going to be the guy who pulls the ladder up after me. What motivates me is not money. Of course, everyone here likes nice things. They want to make a living. You've heard me say this many times. I want to pass the torch. I want there to be someone else to do this. It can't happen if this is how our movement is structured. And you know that, by the way, this could do irreparable damage to the movement, the country, and the people who've fought so hard for the ground gained if we've decided to get in bed with these people who want to strip it away. I'm asking, would you walk away? What would it take for you to walk away from $50 million? Because it's true. That's exactly what I did. It's exactly what I'm doing. And so long as these contracts out there include enforcement of big tech, of punishing conservative creators on behalf of the people we claim to fight and the people who have long since demonetized us and can't stand me, and part of me doesn't blame them. As long as these contracts include that, not even for me, but the next person, I wouldn't take $1 billion.
Right.
And certainly not if you understand in context, when behind closed doors, I know, and these people know, and acknowledge exactly what's being done to the next generation of creators.
Bench talent, young talent, they don't get deals like this.
So they don't get deals that...
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand.
that you then own.
Well, I own parts of it. I don't own it. They can, when their contract's up, they can still go out and they'll still be famous. They can keep doing their shows, so go do a show somewhere else. They'll be in a far, far, far better place. You helped to make them.
That's literally how these businesses work, 101. Yeah, of course. If you're coming over with a $40,000 fucking YouTube channel to the Daily Wire, yeah, you're not getting a cash offer. Of course not. You're going to get either a rev split of new subs you bring in. Maybe you'll get a cash offer, but it'll be really low. But chances are you're going to be paid a salary with contingent deliverables. You're going to be paid a salary where you have to meet certain objectives, where you've got key performance indicators, where you've got things that you have to do. And yeah, chances are, if it's a smaller person, you're going to benefit from that Daily Wire offering. You're going to benefit from that. If you're a 40, 50,000 sub YouTube channel, you want to have the Daily Wire in your name, even if you had to pay them for it, of course. This is just how Entertainment 101 works. You've got so much more to gain than they do for you being on their brand.
No, not long as this contract. This contract owns it in perpetuity even after the contract. You're paying a lease but getting ownership. That's what this contract reads.
On the content that we paid to produce, yes.
They do not keep into perpetuity the content that he is creating in his studio. The only content that they keep is the content that they make. So if Crowder were to go over to the Daily Wire and then they were to make a What is a Woman documentary or whatever with Steven Crowder, when he leaves, the Daily Wire retains the exclusive rights to distribute and monetize that documentary that they make with him, but they don't own all of his shows into perpetuity. That's not what that contract said. And he just said as much on the call.
Opinions on this. I understand that. As someone who does run a business and has to 20, I think maybe 25 employees. I don't know. We're expanding. I understand people run businesses differently and have different priorities. Here's the thing. I would genuinely still, Daily Wire, Jeremy, love to sit down at the table and explain to you how you can make all of this work, how you can scale what we do and not have to be beholden to the people who we all go out and claim that we're fighting, and especially with all of the financial resources that you have, which, by the way, are very impressive. And by the way, since fielding requests for people who've sent this in you guys are under these kinds of contracts, right? You've sent in your emails. If you're looking to either join a network or looking to navigate these contracts, we've been flooded. I'm going to try and get to all of you. But here's the thing. Let me give you my word right now, my word. Everyone, you can timestamp it, call me on it. Here at Mug Club, we will never take any ownership over your social media platforms or your channels, and I don't want a dime ever of your YouTube revenue. You make your own decision as to whether you want to be monetized or not. Some people want to, some people don't. I just have a problem with requiring that you do and penalizing you.
Yeah, but are you offering big cash offers to these people? Like, where are your contracts then? Show me your contracts that you're offering to people, and then we can go from there. Because otherwise this doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Like, wow, you're not going to take anything from nobody that you're trying to sign? Like, who cares? Like,
if you don't. And to Daily Wire, to the rest of the people out there, give me a call. And look, let me put it this way. If you give me your word, this is all that matters here. Just give me your word that there will never be a clause in a contract again for some unsuspecting kid or someone who doesn't have the luxury to walk away from $50 million, as I did.
They're not offering $50 million. Oh my God, dude. Oh, it's actually so stupid. This whole convo is so stupid. He's such a fucking clown. I can't believe Nick is fucking defending this fucking loser.
True, guilty as charged. Give me your word that you will not penalize them 25% for demonetization, another 20% for a strike, another 20% for Facebook, Spotify, Apple, up to 80%. Just give me your word that that clause, that spirit will not be in any contract sent out to anyone else who's at the front lines fighting for this country.
Oh my God.
And we're done. All of this stops right now. You will never hear from me again. I will go out and sing your praises. You can pick up the phone. You have my word. That's all it is. That's all this is about. In the interim, to everyone else, stopbigcon.com. Be a signatory. I'll see you Monday. Tim Pool.